Hi, I'm Darren. Welcome to the video, and this Kartra tutorial is how to build Kartra email sequences that gets results. Now, I'm already in the sequence builder purely to save time more than anything else. And by now you should be able to know how to navigate to that. And if not, you go from your main home page, you go on communications, and then hover over communications again and click on sequences. Now I'm going to talk you through now. The sequence that we're looking at now is one that I basically do for all of my affiliate marketing, my affiliate products. And in previous videos we've been talking about conversions, we've been talking about higher Optin rates and stuff like that. And in one of the particular videos I was talking about, you can basically have a paid service, and what that does, that verifies email addresses as they come into the form. So if they type in an email address that doesn't exist, basically the form will basically say this email address is invalid. The service is quite expensive in some respects. It depends on how you look at it. I choose to do it a little bit differently. I basically do all that with automation, so I'm going to show you how I do that, and I'm going to show you how I've put this automation together so that you understand exactly what I've done and the reasons why I've done it. So the thing that you need to understand about automations is automations is just basically, as it suggests, it's an automated series of events that are going to happen. So that tends to be emails being sent out, and then however that user interacts with the emails will kind of decide on what next path they're going to choose. Now, the most simplest forms of automations are basically an email sequence, and then that email sequence ends. I add like a little bit into it. You can basically be really complicated and complex with these, but it's really not needed if you're basically just doing affiliate marketing, or either you're doing affiliate marketing or you're promoting like your own service or something like that. If you've got a product that you're selling and it's your product, then you can really get a little bit more complex. Like from people that have either bought from you or they haven't bought from you, or they bought the upsell, they bought the downsell. You got all these different automations going on, but we don't need to be complicated with that. So I'm going to show you basically when we created this automation back a few videos ago. We created it basically so that we could set the web form up. So that was going to trigger this automation or this sequence into action. So what you basically have to do, you have to click on starting rules, okay. And I'll basically show you the starting rules that I use, obviously, because what we did, we set that up on the web form. So the web form was the Optin form was basically select the Optin form. Obviously we only had one. Obviously we're talking about the keto campaign that I'm basically building, sort of in this video series to sort of show you how to go through the process. So I basically chose keto form. And then we also assigned a tag as well. And again, the tag was keto, because again, if you remember back, we basically set up the form, we set up that first tag, and that was then put into the form. So when somebody opts into that form, it adds that person to the main list, and then it puts that tag on about keto. Okay, so any marketing that we do, when we create emails, we'll tag that email with the tag keto, and it will just go to those people. So that basically set up the process of the starting rules for the automation. So we've basically got the web format that filled out and the tag that was assigned to it. Now what happens is immediately after they do that, we send out our first welcome email. When that goes out, okay, that'll have, that's the thank you, thank you for subscribing. Here's the link to the thank you page to get your gift. That's basically what that email is. What I would suggest you do, because this is what I found again through split testing, that this gets better results than if you do it a different way. I mean, I've tried a variation of ways and I'll kind of explain what I've done. So what I do, I send out the first email and then I wait 6 hours and then I send out the second email. Okay. And the reason why I do that is because I don't want to use the term hit that person twice, but I want to send out my communications to them twice within one day, because that is when they are the most responsive, basically. So they've come to your form, they've come through your marketing to your form, they've opted in. That's when they're the most responsive, within that sort of first 24 hours. They want what you've got. That's when you want to hit them. If you can hit them in that sort of that small 24-hour window, 18-hour window, and you hit them with like 2 emails, I wouldn't really send any more than 2, but hit them with 2 emails, they're going to be the most responsive. You know then that you've got them. And I'll explain what I do in a little while for that. So that's what we do. We basically come down and we send out this second email. We then wait 18 hours, okay, so that whole sequence has taken now 24 hours, okay, we're now waiting for the 18 hours. And then what I do, I basically then split this automation. And this is the only little bit of automation that I generally tend to do in sequences, okay. So this automation here, or this split, what happens is this. I'll edit it or I'll open it up so we can see. And this kind of goes on to explain why I don't use those paid services. I do it all through automation. So when I set the automation up, okay, we've got right after previous step. I'll see if I can edit it. It seems to be running a bit slow now, the internet. Okay, so right after the previous step, so we're now waiting for 18 hours, and after that 18 hours is up, this part of the sequence triggers. And what I've done is I've created a rule then which basically splits it off. So we in the first 24 hours we've sent out 2 emails. And then basically we're going to have it any time of the day, Monday through Sunday. So we won't look at that. But what I'll do is I'll show you the rule that I've created. So the condition's going to be split, okay? And the condition basically was, has opened the email day 1 or day 0, sorry, the welcome email. So this splitting condition basically says that if that person's opened the welcome email, move them into the true version. If they haven't, move them into the false. Now the reason why I do that, okay, is like I just explained, that the most responsive time for your subscribers is in the first 24 hours, probably even like the first 12, but certainly the first 24 hours. So this automation kicks in, okay, when I send out that first email. So day 0, the welcome email goes out. We wait 6 hours, we send another email out. We then wait 18 hours, and that's when this next automation kicks in. It goes back to look to see whether that person's opened that first email or not. If it has, or rather if they have, should I say, it comes down this true section. I then basically send out the third email. I wait for like a whole day, 24 hours. I send out another email, and then I'll do that through the whole automation. And depending on how many emails you've got in that automation, whether it be 5 or 10, I tend to do around about a 10-day email sequence. When subscribers, what I call onboarding, okay, so they've come from your marketing, they're into your email sequence, they're onboarding to your sequence. If they haven't opened this email, this first one, okay, this is where this split comes in. So that if and statement was, so if they've read that email, take them down this route. If they haven't, we're going down the false route. And what I do there in this is I send out another version of the first email. When they go down the false section, so they've not opened that first email, okay, I'll send out another version of that email. And what I might do is I might change the headline a little bit, but the actual body is still going to be the same. So what happens is we come down, I basically send the same email out, but I put in this automation in this email. I don't put any automation in any of the other the emails. It's just this one. So basically what I say is, if this lead doesn't open this email within 72 hours, then unsubscribe them from the mailing list, okay? And that's it, they're gone. If after all of that sequence, so I've sent out the first email, we've waited 24 hours, we're into that split session, if they've not opened that email by then, and I then resend them another email and I wait another 3 days and they still haven't opened any of those emails, then the likelihood is it's either a false email address or they're just not interested in my emails. So I just unsubscribe them. There's no point in having those people on your list anyway, because they're not opening their emails, okay? So it's all about keeping your subscriber base as small as you possibly can. But they want to be laser targeted, okay? So and this is what I was sort of talking about. You can get higher opt-in rates. I mean, you know, I could sort of show you how to create a capture page that would probably you would probably have an opt-in rate of about between 80 and 90%, because when I used to have a solo ads business, that's what we was doing. We was continuously split testing capture pages, because obviously that's where we made our money. We made our money on people coming through the funnel and the clicks. So I mean, some of those capture pages, I mean, they were converting it as close to 90% as you're ever going to get it. But the actual retention rate and the conversion rate for sending out, you know, like email marketing was very, very poor. So there's absolutely no point in having tons of people on your list if they're not going to be converting, okay? And that's what this whole sequence is all about. So it's kind of primed in two ways, okay? So obviously with that email sequence going down, because if you remember back, the very first thank you page that they come to is this one. And at this point they realise that in order to get the goodies that I'm offering them, they've got to give me a decent email address, because if they come here and they just put in some, like, you know, some fake email address or something, they've either got to re-opt in or not bother. So when we're sending those emails out in this sequence, when we send the second email out, and then we basically ask this system, have they opened the very first email? If they haven't, send it again and wait another 3 days, and if they're still not opened it, then just boot them off the list, because there's no point in being on there. So that's it for this video. If you got any questions about automations and that, just sort of, you know, drop it in the comments below, and I'll gladly help, and I'll gladly sort of, you know, try and give you some advice if I possibly can. So that's it. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.